Okay, we should be live now. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Uh, Always right when the stream starts, you know. But yeah, we got a fun Locals Day in Starstrike format. I chose that format because it is what we will be covering on the channel very soon. I'm still working on the card pool video for it, but I should have another video out this weekend, sort of closing out X-Air format. I know I made my last video for that, but it'll be like a fun conquest game against another Yugi tuber. So look forward to that this weekend. It's all recorded and edited. I just need to put it up on the channel. But today we've got a Starstrike Locals, so this should be very fun. And I'm gonna get. Sorry, y'all had to see that. I was not like this before the stream. I guess streaming brings out the snot in me. But yeah, I'll get things started. Okay, first I need to change the settings of the event to... Oh, okay. We got one more player. Okay, we got one more player joining, and then we'll get things started. Cool. So if you don't know what Starstrike format is, I can actually pull up the thing. Let me just blow my nose real quick, off camera probably, because I don't think anyone wants to see that. And I swear, it's always when the stream starts. But I'll pull up the format library page for it. So, Starstrike format is the format after X-Sabers take place at the El Paso Regional Qualifier in January of 2011. Happy 4th to you as well, Dylan Ramirez. Very exciting time for Americans. Woo! We get to celebrate the 4th as always. Bit hot here, unfortunately. But, that's how it is. Dog days of summer and all that. But yeah, happy 4th to those who celebrate. And what better way to celebrate the 4th than some great Yu-Gi-Oh! Am I right? So yeah, Starstrike format is the form based around the El Paso Regional Qualifier in January 2011. Unfortunately, like in the past, it's been a bit dominated by Gravekeepers. As you can see here, Gravekeepers doing very well, getting 2 people in the top 8. But I think that people have learned to play against the deck somewhat and prepare for it. So for instance, Wagmuffin won the last event on Plant Synchro. It was very cool. We've seen some Glad Beast, we've seen some X-Air, we've seen some various stuff here for the format. So definitely not solved, even though Gravekeepers are very strong because they've got Recruiter now. But yeah, it's a fun format. Okay, now I'll get things started. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see if that is how this locals go. Locals is a very small event, so it's tough to really tell what will rise to the top. Single elimination as well. So yeah, it could really anything can happen, which is part of the fun of these small events. And it is unranked, so this won't apply for ranked ladder for anyone who does care about that. It'll just be for fun. So we got some games here. We got XYOM versus Aratos and Wagmum versus Helio. So we'll be able to dive in and watch those and see how things go. So looking over here, let's see if a game has started. We do have Prada versus Food, which is a different... that's probably for a different tournament, I assume. We can watch that for a bit. Probably some retro Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, here we go. I'll mute this. I assume there's fire water or something. I mean, they've got Fire Fist stuff there, so we'll be into that at some point as well. But yeah, so it's fun that there's some other games going on. I hope the people started playing. Okay, looks like Helio is hosting for Waga there, so we'll be able to dive into that. And eventually we'll be able to see Artos and XYOM as well. Keschers and Glomos having some buys here. So they only have to get through 2 games. Oh, I saw Helio. I think I saw Helio. There we go. Helio versus Waga. Here we go. So this will be the first game we watch. Again, Wagamama did win the last event on Plant Synchro, so they might be playing something similar. I don't know what Helio's on, but either way, this should be a fun game. Upstart coming down first, so looks like we had someone miss the event. Yeah, that's sad, but it is what it is. You know, you won't be able to attend every locals, and you just show up for the ones you can. Helio setting 1, 2, 3, 4, and passing back. No heavy in this format. Use the same ban list as X-Saber, I'm pretty sure. Like, I've been making a video on it, so I should know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it used the same list. And looks like I'm just going to open with a set pass. So no back row there. Could indicate that there's a Gores in hand. But if Helio has a Raikou here, that's going to be pretty good for them. They're going to think about this. Okay, it's a hamster. So they're going to hamster it up, ham it up. Bring out a probably Raikou from the deck, but if they're playing Sabers, it would probably be a Dark Soul. So if it's Dark Soul, we'll know what they're on. If not, then it could be any deck playing the Raikou hamster package here. Or it could be, I mean, it could be just a Beast deck. You know, Beasts do have some cards that try to synergize with each other. So it could be that. But yeah. Okay, it is Dark Soul, so it looks like this is indeed X-Sabers. Which I think makes sense because a lot of mill decks don't really play Upstart. Kind of a bad thing to mill. So if they're playing a Raikou, you know, oftentimes decks play Raikou want to actually mill things as well. So it makes sense why, you know, they play Upstart here versus other decks like a deck playing Raikou like Wagamamon's on, playing that Raikou, popping a back row here. Is it going to be a good one? Yeah, not too much that can stop this in that format. Yeah, it's my body to shield. Yeah, I can't stop that. And it looks like we see a Lone Fire there. So seems like Wagamuffin is on Plant Synchro here. So we got Plant Synchro versus X-Sabers here. Very interesting matchup. Not necessarily one that shows up all too often. Both these decks are kind of hurt by Gravekeepers a bit. This is like relatively close before Tengu. It's like not like right before. Trishul is the one like right before Tengu. But we're getting there. So it's very similar. Sorry, Hanzo. Yeah, it's tough that I always feel bad about like paying locals enthusiasts and Starstrike players or whatever format being played in the locals like so much, because I feel like I like ping them like 3 or 4 times, like especially leading up to the event. But people always slip through the cracks, so it's tough because, you know, I don't want to like, you know, spam people who are already signed up or know about it. But at the same time, like, you know, I want to make sure that everyone does know who wants to play. So I'm sorry you missed it. I should probably advertise locals in these sorts of formats on the no heavy zone as well. That actually might be a good thing to do. But yeah, this is a very exciting game. And yeah, both players here are very, very good, and they're both playing very interesting decks. So, yeah, I'm excited to see it. Looks like they're going to try and go for the Raikou there. So making an Iron Chain potentially. Econ here tributing the Dark Soul for the debris to prevent the Iron Chain from going through. The Raikou will still hit the field. But it's obviously a lot less good now that the debris is not there to sink off. Oh, wait, it was the Lone Fire target. I guess I misread the target thing. But yeah, Lone Fire cannot activate its effect here because its effects are negated. It doesn't say like negate its effect on field. If that was the case, then I believe Lone Fire would be able to activate and, you know, resolve its effect. But here its effects are negated. So I guess you can still tribute the Lone Fire if you just, you know, I don't know why you would, but you could, I guess. But yeah, as of now, it just sort of sits there and does nothing. So yeah, end of turn, debris will go back, and X-Saber Dark Soul will get the search. So I'm curious what they'll search out here. Could be like a full helm. Okay, it looks like a Boggart, so it seems like there are some other X-Sabers in hand, most likely. MST on the back row as well, so that'll hit an MST, and Debris does go back. So that'd be kind of cracked if Econ could just, take it forever. But yeah, Debris does go back. Boggart presumably is going to come down here and special something out, I assume. And this could be a pretty brutal turn. Yep, there's the Boggart. Got a lot of monsters to attack into here to avoid Gores if you are afraid of Gores. Looks like the Dark Soul is going to come down there. And yeah, as Hanzo says, this is going to be a big turn. No, this is not you need a tuner here. Yeah, this is neither of these are tuners. Nope. No, it's okay. It looks like Wagamuffin is typing in the chat. And also, I want to make it clear, like, whenever I point out something that happens where it's either an error or like, what I think is maybe a misplay or something like that, I'm not doing it to, sort of, dunk on these duels or like anything like that. I'm just pointing it out for the commentary here, and it's much easier to watch and commentate than to actually play in the games. So yeah, it's important to note. And as Helio said, they haven't played in a while. That's part of why I hold these locals, so that way people can, sort of get more practice in the events. And yeah, it looks like we're just going to get Boggart Knight in over the Lone Fire and then Hamster in over the Debris. So a bit unfortunate that they weren't able to do like something super big here, but I still think this is a fine turn. I mean, Dark Soul on board is very nice, and Dark Hole does exist. A Dark Hole on this board would be pretty rough. But if we have the read that set card is also a Dark Soul, which I would read it to be, because if it was a tuner, you'd probably flip it up and sync off here. If it was a Raikou, I mean, I don't think they're playing Raikou, but like, if it was, you might want to use it there. I mean, maybe it could be Raikou, but a lot of Saber decks don't play Raikou, even though they're playing Hamster. If it was Hamster, you'd probably flip it up to get more damage and another Dark Soul on board, unless you don't want to clog up your zones, which is fair. But yeah, I feel like that's probably a Dark Soul set. So Dark Hole does not really trade super favorably into this board. But yeah, playing around the Gores though, which, there very well might be a Gores here. I mean, could just be playing a deck with like low back row counts, but yeah, I feel like Gores make sense, especially because like the set MST is like something that you can. Oh, there's the Dark Hole. Yeah, so kind of rough there. But that being said, oh, it was a Raikou. Okay, yeah, it's unfortunate. Still, one Dark Soul search is pretty good. We'll see what Helio searches out. I mean, Full Helm would be probably the move here because they've got a defense position monster, so you just try and get over that and bring something back. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting tech card for sure, Hanto, and it can come up. It can be quite good, but yeah, it's tricky with this deck. You don't necessarily want to mill certain cards in X-Saber, but going for Fault Troll. Okay, that is a big search there. I mean, that to me said they probably have Full Helm. Either a Full Helm or another Boggart, because like, okay, they do indeed have the Full Helm, so they have the Full Helm already. So you search out the Fault Troll to bring it out if this Full Helm Knight connects. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. Yeah, looks like that will be fine. No warning or anything. Fulham attacking in to the set. I feel like Fulham gets over pretty much anything that Plantsinger would want to set. And yeah, there's the Spore. And there comes the warning. So it seems like they wanted the Spore Engrave. I'm a bit torn on that. I feel like just having a monster on board, like you could potentially sync off with the Spore and then like combo with it later. Unless you want to set up for Avarice. They might have an Avarice in hand, which is why they saved it for that. But I would have just probably, I mean, I guess this plays around like if they've got Reborn. So like you don't want to like warning and then run into like Reborn or something. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it looks like no attack there, not playing into Gores. Dust Shoot, that makes sense, yeah. Dust Shoot to see if they've got Gores first before attacking in. I think that makes a world of sense. And I think Helio's in a pretty good spot here, even though like things will be equalized. They'll each have 3 cards. I think that they're doing pretty good. Spore Engrave is threatening. Because that's like a level 4 tuner coming back this turn. But that seemed like a misclick there. Yeah. Well, now we know that Magnum's playing Charge, which makes sense if they're playing Rykos. Seemed like a bit of a choice. Okay, no Gores, just like a really bricked up hand, honestly. You probably have to take Debris. I feel like Debris is what is the pick here. I'm trying to think. Is there Light and Dark Engrave? There is Light and Dark Engrave, so Sork might be the answer as well. Yeah, probably Sork actually. Yeah, I think it's Sork because there goes the Sork. Because even if they Debris, so there are 2 options that Wagner has here. They can either go Debris for Iron Chain or Black Rose, or they can go Spore, summon out DD Crow, make Catastor, and attack an Emmer's Blade. Either of those would work. I think the Catastor Blade may be better, but Exhibitors do play a lot with their graveyards. So it's a bit tough to say. And also, you're using up your graveyard resource that you don't necessarily want to use. But there are a lot of threatening cards that like Helio can summon out off of the Emmer's Blade. So a bit tricky. Hanzo says Exhibitors are now retro deck to pick up after reprints in the Legendary Modern decks. They're relevant in multiple cool formats, and that is very true. Oh, it seems like Waga is not committing anything to board here. So they're saving on to that DD Crow. They're holding on to that Debris for a board that they can probably more profitably Black Rose into. But yeah, I feel like that's scary with a known Faltrol. Because now Faltrol just baits out. You just bait out the Crow. And then you attack him with everything here. Main 2, you make Gotems and like rip the last card out of hand. And then they're in like a super bad spot. So yeah, I mean, I think you target, it's tough to know. I think you target Dark Soul because you've already got another Engrave. So I feel like that is a fine Crow target. And also, if they do let you get back the Dark Soul, then like you can rip their entire hand out with Gotems. Or actually, not their entire hand, but you can rip 2 cards from hand and get a search at the end of the turn, which is just busted. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I mean, I guess Boggart, let's see, 26, 24. Boggart threatens lethal. So if you want to threaten lethal, you go Boggart, and maybe that just is good enough. Yeah, maybe that's the play. Yeah, maybe that's the play, actually. Just to go Boggart. Tough to say. Yeah, they are going to go Dark Soul. I think that does make sense. I am a fan of it, personally. Does this threaten lethal? Yeah, it does threaten lethal, because you can make Goyo with the Full Helm and the Dark Soul. So, yeah, this threatens lethal. If it hits the field, you win. But also, you've left a unique name of the Boggart Knight in there. Engrave. I feel like here you just go... I mean, there is an argument for just going like Goyo or something and getting in for 52, leaving them at 13. But I feel like it's just better just, get the hand rip in, just deprive them of cards and leave an Emmer's Blade. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. You could also just leave the Full Helm Knight up. You've got an attack negate, but they've got Debris. So yeah, I think you just want to get rid of that Debris. So yeah, I think going for Gotems, tribute Emmer's Blade, rip a card out of hand. Hitting Titanial would be bad, but even then it wouldn't be like terrible. Like you've taken a resource from them either way, I guess. So yeah, I think Gotems makes sense here. Gotems tribute. You could tribute itself, honestly, but I like tribute Emmer's Blade better. Yeah, I approve of this. But yeah, tributing itself would be very funny as well, though. There goes Titanial. Yeah. Helio given the GG1. I don't think the game's over yet, though. I mean, it depends on what's in the hand and what Wygovan draws here. But Charge is coming through, so Charge can get the Ryko. So, like, you can just set Ryko and, like, wall up against the Gotems. Full Helm in hand would be nuts here. Full home into Raikou is like, that's the end of the game. But so like that's the argument. Well, it's tough. It's really tough to say what Wagamuffin's best move is here. There's even a world where they set or I guess there's a world where you make a 6. You make like Bryo bounce the Gotems using up the debris, like use Spore and the Raikou and attack, and then you Bryo. That might be the move. But then like I feel like Helio then has inevitability there. It's just really tough to say. Okay, it looks like they are gonna go for the Bryo play. Or there's walling up more. Okay, there's the Spore in defense. Okay, they are gonna do Bryo, yeah. I assume Bryo. There could be something else. Yeah, Mirror Force would be pretty good there to stop the Golems and stuff, but yeah, I think Bryo makes the most sense. You Bryo pitch the debris, and then actually, does this make the most sense? I guess you get in for 23, so that's good. But there maybe is a world where instead of doing that, you summon out debris, just make Black Rose, and then you've got your Spore for later. So you could potentially do a better play, but then you've got an empty board, so you lose to like Boggart. So yeah, I don't know. It is tough. Setting 2 cards here. So Bryo can bounce 1, but it can't bounce both, which makes this a bit tricky. Yeah, a very good position for Helio. You're forcing Wagon to make like not the best, choice. Because like we know that Helio plays flips. Okay, they are gonna just attack in here. It is Pashul. So yeah, it looks like Wagon just setting 1, passing back. Okay. And then next turn they can always bounce the Pashul if they do want to get in for damage. But looks like another back row here. Gothem's E-Call would be pretty good here, but MST is going to stop that set if it was the E-Call. Looks like it was a warning instead. So, the best toast he asked is Royal Tribute with card reveal in this format. I do believe we play it that way on the YGO from Zero Discord server. So, yes, it is indeed. So yeah, that is busted. Gravekeepers is a busted deck for sure. Yeah. So Helio just taking a fair bit of damage here each turn. They do have to take another 1,000 for Pashul. So another reason not to bounce back the Pashul, I guess. And you can always do that later. Set card, probably Raikou. Maybe Dandy. Oh, you don't want to see that. Probably Faltrol, I assume. I'd assume that's the draw. Because like pretty much anything else you'd want to probably commit to board. Like if it's full on, you're running that out, attacking into the set, right? If it's Dark Soul, you're probably just setting it or summoning it and making like Catastor. Yeah, so that I think that has to be Faltrol. Yeah. Okay, setting a monster there. Setting another back row. Passing back. Another 1,000 loss. So now Helio's out of warning range. The dangers of Pashul, to be sure. Yeah, also the note, Pashul says you take 1,000 damage. Doesn't say you pay 1,000 life points. So that's a key thing here because like Pashul can kill you. Whereas like a maintenance cost will, you just won't pay it. Raikou flipping up here. That's gonna be very good for Wagamuffin. They don't need to worry about the warning here. They're gonna target that back row there. It looks like just a dead warning. Okay. And milling 3 milling dandies as well. So that is going to be quite nice here. Obviously no bulb engrave, but like still, it's defense. It can, do combo plays if you got a tuner. Yeah, exactly. It is up to the TO as Sycon mentions. And playing on Dueling Book is a bit interesting because Dueling Book you have the option to like screenshot things, whereas in actual tournament play, you wouldn't necessarily have that option. But um, we generally try and match the policy at the time as well. So yeah, I am curious. That's a scary thing when you're bouncing back row with Bryo. It means that Wyman probably has something here. Yeah, no problem, Best Toasty. Any questions that you have, definitely ask them. Yeah. Oh, Econ and to switch that to attack, not even having to take it to do a synchro play. And now Bryo poking in for that last bit of damage, and there you go. Yeah, good game one. Damn, that was a rough one. That was a tough one indeed. Let's dive into the other game going on here. Not that the rest of that match will not also be interesting, but I'm sure it will be very good. But I want to just get a peek at what the other players are playing here. Seems like Artos is playing Gravekeepers here. It is 1-1, so this is game 3. And we'll have to see what Omnidels is playing. It looks like another X-Sabers player? Okay. I mean, we did just come out of X-Saber format. But that oppression is going to be nasty with Gravekeepers. Against X-Sabers too, that's going to be tough. That is... Yeah, that is rough. Yeah, Omni Delta has a big think here for sure. Like, oh man. That's brutal. That is brutal. I mean, they probably have side deck things for things like that, because Gravekeepers often do play floodgates like this as well. And so you bring in like back row removal for like Necro Valley and other things that they might play. I've seen some Gravekeepers play Kaiser Coliseum, which is just ugh. But oof, setting a monster here is not necessarily what you want to see, because they can just Descendant pop. So yeah, like I don't think that is an Emmer's Blade. Oh, even better. Yeah, so you pop that. I mean, Dark Soul, sure, get the search, but like there's half your life points coming, more than half, because Commandant gets Necro Valley. Oh man. If Omni Delta has Gores, that's gonna be quite good. But now Prada just missed the tournament, Hanzo. So yeah, that's also why I felt bad when well, I saw that you and Prada both weren't playing in this one. I was like, damn, that stinks. But yeah, I'm glad to see Gravekeepers in Prada's stead. So even if Prada's not here with us, in fact, here in spirit, But yeah, there's going to be a lot of damage, 3,700 damage coming in. If there was Gores, that could have been dropped there because it gets around oppression, because damage stuff. But it looks like there was not. And so, I mean, I can't really see a way that Omni wins this. I mean, sure, Boggart Knight, fine. You can summon that out, beat over Spy if none of those three... Oh! Okay. Yeah, so Close Forest is generally a good side deck card against things like Gravekeepers, right? Because it shuts down the field spell zone. But yeah, you can stop it with an MST, and there's another MST. So that will be the end of the game. Descendant, pop the full helm, and then just attack him. Descendant, adding back with Stell, because why not? Yeah, that's just going to be the end of the game. Yeah, and no worries, Justice Punch. Like, that's the thing about, like, locals. Like, it would be great if they got, like, a ton of people, but unless it gets enough people to actually run an event, it's still fun, right? And so, yeah, we'll have many more locals in the future, so there will be plenty of opportunities to jump in to future ones. So, yeah, but back into Helio versus Waga here. So, seems like Gravekeepers, they'll be a threat this event. We'll see how many other people are on it, because we still do have 2 more people. We got Keshers and Glomos as well, both of whom or neither of whom could be on Gravekeepers. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, part of the issue with X-Sabers in this format is that there's a lot of decks that like are really good against it. I mean, Gravekeepers kind of hoses the deck a bit. Like, you can't use Full Helm, you can't use E-Call, you can't use Fall Troll. Like, it is actually... No, yeah, you can't use Full Helm. It activates in damage, but it still doesn't get around Necro. Like, if they are able to Cold Wave you and, like, Hyunlei, and like pop a bunch of back row, that's very good. But you know, that's a one of, so it's a bit tough. I think Crow. It depends on the format for sure. Like, I don't think in Starstrike it would be particularly common, but Wagman was on it in game one, which might have been just like thinking that the meta isn't going to revolve as much around Gravekeepers. But because Gravekeepers is such a common deck in this format, I personally probably would not main Crow. Because, yeah, it's just like if you're up against Gravekeepers, Crow does nothing. And so it's kind of rough there. Aaron would be really good. Yeah, Aaron's very good against like X-Sabers. It would be pretty good against Gravekeepers because you bounce back. Like, you know, spies or things like that. So yeah, I think Aaron would be quite good in this format. So yeah, I like that. I like that tech Justice Punch. Boggart coming down. So now this will be a pretty big turn if everything is allowed to go through here. Looks like TT is coming down. Is there going to be a stopper to that? Looks like not. So pretty brutal TT. I mean, the Dark Soul does get a search in the end phase. But Wagamuffin's board traded very well into that. I mean, they did have the TT set, so, you know, makes sense that it would, but still, if you are Helio, probably not happy about that. What's the search going to be here? I would maybe search Full Helm, but Emmer's Blade might be... No, I think I'd probably still search Full Helm, just because if they want to get defensive, you can run over something with it and get something back. If they do get aggressive, it does have the attack negate. So I think Full Helm is pretty good overall. That being said, Wagamuffin does have the option to get aggressive. They do have Spore here. No plants in Graveyard, but, you know, plants can very easily get plants in Grave. So Just Punch says, if you're going to main a hand trap, I think Valor would be the one you main and Crows for side. But if plants are on Chaos, then maybe they need it for attribute ratios. Yeah, and that's fair. We did see Chaos Sork in Wagamuffin's deck in game one. So that very well may be the case. That's just like, it's a hand trap that's good against some decks. But mainly it's there just for the Sork. So it looks like Breaker's going to come down and pop the E-Call. Oh no, that is a card you want to keep there, unfortunately. Dimpriz is going to be able to banish the Breaker, so that's something at least. But yeah, not ideal for Helio. But yeah, looks like Fulham is just going to come down here, poke in for 13, hope no Gores. We do know Wagamuffin's on Gores. Yep, there's the Gores. Solid Morning's going to come down, so that will stop the Gores from going through, so at least there is that. But yeah. Icaro says, we have tier 0 Gravekeeper format. Why are we talking about playing more orange cards when we absolutely need to? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's tier 0 or not. I need to test it more. But yeah, Gravekeepers is undisputably like the top dog. It's the deck to beat for sure. So it's like, yeah, you generally want to play more back row because Gravekeepers is going to be playing a lot of back row as well. And they're just able to shut down what your monster are doing very well. So yeah, but I think Valor is good against Gravekeepers. I mean, it can shut down Descendant. It can shut down a flipped up Spy in their main. So at least there is that with Valor. But yeah, I definitely see your point there. Raikou is going to target the Full Helm, but Full Helm can target itself to bring itself back, or it can just target, like, I don't know, if you want to go Dark Soul. I guess they do want to go Dark Soul. So they're going to bring Dark Soul back in defense mode there. This means that they probably don't have a way to convert off the Dark Soul this turn. I probably would have left the Dark Soul in attack and poked in. And then, but again, if they don't have anything there, then I can get that. But I mean, yeah, if you have Pashul, I think just like bring Dark Soul in attack, attacking into a token would probably make sense. But yeah. Hondo asks, is package really, they say Lightsworn package is very strong here. Charge can access go to toolbox. There's a lot of monster setting in this format, so when having tempo, you set Raikou, you're in good position. Ikaros responded with, I tried very hard to beat Gravekeeper. It's technically doable, but you need to play lists that are so abnormal, they will not really work against other decks. So not technically tier 0, but there's still no reason to ever play anything else. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. I just don't know for sure. Like, I have not, and that's a problem with, like, you know, my coverage. I'm going to get to covering Starstrike soon. But I, you know, sort of like reached ahead into future formats, when I was covering, like for like tournament stuff. So, you know, I host locals and I've had tournaments for formats like Starstrike where I've seen a fair amount of games in it, but I don't really have the personal hands-on, experience with it. So I can't like, Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have that soon because like next week we should be getting into like Starstrike Format, coverage proper. I don't think it will last that long, given what people seem to say about the format, and again, Gravekeepers being like a really really good deck. Um, but it will still be enough to hopefully get me a better grasp on things. But I would say you're probably right. Like if I played this tournament competitively and I was like going to a Starstrike event, I would probably just bring Gravekeepers because it is a straightforward deck. It also aligns like somewhat with my game style. Like I like decks that are a bit grindier, and Gravekeepers is a very grindy deck, very resource management. So like, I would probably go with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, Wagamama did win with Plan Synchro one time, and that's kind of wild because Plan Synchro is a deck that does rely on its graveyard a decent bit. So maybe there is room for experimentation and stuff. Um, but yeah, as Hanzo says, like Lila does deal with their back row, which is very nice. Aaron kills Sabers if you face Sabers, but also it's good into Spy, so that's nice. Psychon brings up that like Knock is in the format, Gemini Imps are in the format if you're worried about being tributed. Yeah. But yeah, and also as they say, being best isn't tier 0, although it's probably a number 1 deck. Like tier 0 is generally like it is it will win even against like things that go anti into it, right? Like if you build a deck just to beat that targeted deck, it will probably still have a decent enough matchup. Yeah, so it's not tier 0 for sure, but like it is definitely like very very good. Yeah. And Icarus brings up a good point that, like, for the counterplay to the deck, that deck can also play counterplay, right? Like, Gravekeepers can play My Body as a shield, and, that will stop Knock, and, like, there are ways around things, right? Reinforced Truth is going to come out here, so that actually will... Oh, wait, do they not have the Pashul left? They only have one Pashul in deck. Damn, okay. Yeah, so that's going to be probably pretty much the end of the game. I mean, I don't see... Dark Hole would be a way to recover, I guess, but yeah, that's rough. But yeah, Overworked falls into the same problem as My Body to Shield. Fairy Wind could be good for dealing with the Oppression and Necro, but like, yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, and also Graveyard decks often side out Royal Tribute if they're going second. Because people side things in, and also if you're going second, like the tribute is obviously not as good. So yeah. Dylan Ramirez, that sounds very, very yummy. So yeah, I love me a good steak, and potato wedges are a pretty good side for that. So, yeah, I'm happy to distract from the starvation for as long as I can. Icarus points out that NV removal is too slow to stop RT, and they get 2 other NVs almost for free. Still nice though if you want to play combo. I'm trying to think about what NV non yeah, I don't know. But Gamer Shaft says besides lots of just want to win players playing GK, this format's pretty fun, even if Trish is a bit better. Yeah, and I think also it's important to note that like okay, it looks like Wagmuffin was able to win that one. So unfortunately X-Saber's getting knocked out of that first round. I mean, we might see other X-Saber players later on, but a bit unfortunate there. It's important to note, I always try and point this out, that like while this channel is personally focused on like what decks would be like most competitive in these formats, there's nothing stopping you from like if you do like this era but you don't like Gravekeepers, or if you like another format and you don't like a given deck in it, like you can just play with friends like decks in the format and play around with each other, purposely not playing those decks, right? Like people do that for GOAT, people do that for a variety of other formats. So like that is also something you can do if like you want to play, like for instance, Plant Synchro from this time period, but you don't want to have to deal with Gravekeepers, and you just have a group of friends that are like very nostalgic for this time. You can do that as well. When I talk about like metagames and like stuff like that on this channel, I'm generally talking about like if we optimize the format and we have a competitive tournament going on, and what will rise to the top. But I want to make sure that people are aware that they can play these however you want. Oh, NV equals Necro Valley. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. Yes. Valley, yeah, so like, yeah, if you remove Necro Valley, you can just get more stuff with Commandant and stuff like that. So that makes sense. Royal Tribute. Yeah, RT equals Royal Tribute. Yes. Thank you for the clarification. Another reason why I need to have more hands-on experience with this format to get the lingo down there for sure. But yeah. Oh, Rainbow would be a wild... That would be a wild wild counterplay there. Yeah, Blade Accelerator, very neat card. So this is like Volcanics, which is pretty cool. The downside is if you want to like recycle your Volcanics, like with a Royal Firestorm Guards, for instance, right? You can't really do that while Necro Valley's up. But you are able to pop like Spies very handily with this. Ryo seems pretty good here, if I'm being honest. Interesting that they're playing Ryo in Volcanic Shell Gadgets. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it is. It does stop like recruiters and stuff, but like that's a bit interesting, I will say. Ryo is coming down though, so hopefully they got the shell search off before they summoned out the Ryo, because otherwise might be kind of rough. MST targeting one of the non-accelerated back rows there, and it's gonna hit a bottomless trap hole, which is pretty good to hit. Commandant is coming down that can beat over a rocket or a Ryo there. But yeah, Ryo and gadgets is kind of wild. You're like, this will hurt you more than it will hurt me. Not just gadgets, but like volcanic gadgets too. So like, you need the shell searches, you need the rocket search. Like, yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Just Punch says like, if they're playing my body, you just have to put them on. Gotta have it, right? Which sometimes you have to do against certain decks. But the fact that like the way to beat the deck is just you put them on gotta have it is still kind of rough, for sure. Psychon said another formats GK can only really win with Tribute. Is the deck power level really high enough compared to the rest to win without the freebie? I would say it's more that like the power level of other decks is generally pretty low in this format, and Greycutters has some very good matchup against other decks in the format, right? Like if you're looking at the decks that were strong in the previous format, X-Saber, you had X-Saber itself, right? Which is a deck that like wants to bring things back from graveyard a lot. So that's kind of not really working there. Hero Beat or like beatdown variants in general, in which case like Greycutters is a beatdown deck. And because it has Recruiter, it becomes a much more consistent beatdown deck than a lot of the other beatdown decks in the format. So it sort of outclasses the other decks there. And then if you want to look at like more rogue options, like Inferni is shut down completely by Necro Valley. Like there's just a lot of like Diva Hero is also kind of hurt because you can't Miracle Fusion. Like there's a lot of different decks that are just shut down by Necro Valley and not at a power level outside of graveyard shenanigans to compete with Gravekeepers. So it's just kind of rough. Yeah, and also like Ethergrove says the only decks that can compete with it are those that are not really hurt by Necro Valley and can destroy Necro Valley for free. So like Gladbeast is actually a good deck that I think can go against it. I think X-Sabers is kind of hurt by Necro Valley personally. Like I think a lot of its like really explosive plays want to be using the graveyard. So I'm not sure I'd necessarily put it in that category, but I have not had much hand-on experience with this deck, with this format, right? So it's like I don't necessarily know exactly what that matchup's like, but yeah, Recruiter for Free Fodder's Descendant is just brutal for sure. Yeah, because you just get rid of the Rykos and Judgment on the Dim Priz makes sense. So 700 life points being dealt to Kesha here, but Arta's able to keep up that monster that is putting so much pressure on Kesha. We know about red in hand. Black Garden coming down, so that will pop the Necro Valley here. Yeah, interesting that they chose to do this. Oh, I guess they have Avarice. That makes sense. I was going to say, interesting that they chose to do this before summing out the red, but yeah, this makes more sense now. Yeah, and as Agro says, like, you probably need to build X-Saber less as a combo deck and more as a beatdown deck and focus on Hyunlei, which I would agree with. So, yeah, the issue is that, like, Grey Cruise also plays, like, you know, Royal Oppression and, like, a lot of ways just stop specials and stop combos, so it's kind of tough. Yeah, I wanna check out that Saber Beat list. I think I'll probably do, like, a tourney recap because there have been some tourneys that wrapped up recently. And I'd like to get back into doing that sort of thing because I think it's a pretty interesting way to like look at these formats that I sort of, you know, left behind. And it's rough that the red gadget is the summon there. But you know, I guess the draws weren't the best off Avarice, or they're just back row. But yeah. Yeah, they do need to search here, or they don't have to, I guess. You can, but nope. not what you search there. You search a yellow. Okay, there we go. But yeah, this past Veil of Silence tournament, which was for X-Saber Revolution format, there were some very interesting lists. So I'm excited for that. Oh, there goes the Necro. So pop in the Black Garden. Does Black Garden trigger on that? Okay. No, it's if okay, yeah, so you target one in your graveyard and then you can pop itself. But Mirror Force is gonna be pretty good here. Destroying the Commandant and the token. Stell though, I mean Stell's gonna be pretty good. Yeah. Gamer Shadow says 3 traps done, 2 Mallycats in Saber. Mallycat, would that be malicious and cats? I'm not quite sure. Oh, Malevolent Catastrophe. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, Malevolent Catastrophe is a card that probably should see more play in this format. Because that is a pretty good, like, for instance, if your opponent's attacking in with a Gravekeeper monster under Necro Valley, right? Then like you can activate Malevolent Catastrophe, pop the entire board, and it serves as like a combat trick as well. So I could see Jar of Greed and Legacy also being good in this format, just to draw deeper into like the things that you actually need, and also to recover from things like Royal Tribute going turn 1. So yeah, very fair, Gamer Shadow. Like I am always a big proponent of like every format out there has someone who will enjoy it, and like I think that there's nothing wrong with enjoying one format over another. Okay, going for the more damage here. I assume no effect. But yeah, that'll be a fair bit of damage. That'll be 1350. But yeah, there are formats that I personally despise. Like, I doubt this will be one of them, and Revolution for it was certainly not one of them. But like, there are formats like Cat Format. Like, I did not like Cat Format at all. Like, Cat Format was like, I mean, it was fun in a way. I could see why people would enjoy it, but like, it was not my cup of tea. So like, I would not personally want to play that most of the time, but there are some people who really do enjoy just like throwing everything at a wall and just like, doing these crazy turns where you just kill your opponent out of nowhere constantly. And if they like that, more power to them. I think that is a good thing, that there are things for every type of player in the game. So, yeah, plants are pretty cool here. I will be showing off plants in this format. I mean, if I played plants in Revolution format, I'm going to play it here too, because, I mean, plants without bulb are kind of rough in X-Saber/Revolution format. But, yeah, here they got some gas. They got some sauce. Rising Energy would be very funny. The trap that boosts attack by 1500. Attacking over the yellow gadget there, just prioritizing damage. I guess they don't really need the searching as much. Now they got some Gravekeepers in grave, maybe. It's kind of interesting. I probably would have attacked over Ryo. I guess they must have some reason for it. Maybe just keeping on the gas over like the weaker monsters is good. Wildfire is very interesting. So, yeah, that will pop the board. But, like, I'm curious why they chose... I guess they don't have... Yeah, all 3 shells are gone. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Artos definitely, like... I think Artos generally gravitates towards, what is, like, most likely to win an event. And I think Gravekeeper is definitely that. So, yeah, we can always count on Artos to represent that Unga Bunga. It does come in attack position. You can't bring it in defense position. Okay, there we go. Yep, they did indeed do it. And we got the Wildfire token art. Very, very cool. But, yeah, there comes the yellow. Searching out a green. Just thinning out the deck. This makes sense why they would potentially do it, because they get their own Ryo off the field as well. But I still don't think it's the best spot for them. Sidra here is going to be nasty. Yeah, that's rough. And they are going to go for Chimera Tech here. I feel like there's a world... Oh, I guess they get the Descendant anyways, so this will be the end of the game there. Yeah, GG's. It was a grind, but Gravekeepers was able to take it because that deck grinds like no other in this format. let's dive into the other game going on here. Glowmoss versus Wagmountain. Seems like Glowmoss also on Gravekeepers. Will we see a Gravekeeper mirror for the finals, or will Plan Synchro be able to do it? I mean, if any player can bring Plan Synchro to triumph over Gravekeepers, it is Wagamuffin. They've done it in the past. But yeah. Yeah, I agree, Justice Punch. Like, I think Volcanic Engine seems pretty cool. Yeah, it's tricky with TKing because obviously, like, you know, if you got TKing up, you can't search your shells, you can't search with Rocket, things like that. But if you manage it well, then it could definitely make some stuff happen in a very interesting way. So, it seems like Glowmoss is in a very good situation here. Mirror Force is gone, so they don't need to worry about that as well. It seems like Ryo was set. Maybe it is trying to block off some damage, but yeah, this is a rough spot to be in. I wonder if Bulb's been used up already. I would assume so. Maybe not. Dark Hole, that's gonna be good. Unless there's like a My Body to Shield or something. But like, yeah, that is a pretty brutal play there. Calm Pulse, okay. So they can bounce one of these guys back. Bouncing back the Commandant, I think that makes sense as the most attack. And if they pop the Necro Valley, you can search out another. But it looks like Wagmo just setting one, passing back. 2 Raikos gone. Could be another Raiko set there. Dark Hole, though, we'll clear that up one way or another. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the game. So, very, very cool stuff there. Glad we caught the end of that. But, yeah, I mean, Gravekeepers can really hurt Plan Synchro. Of course, that's before siding. Wagmo definitely has a side deck plan for Gravekeepers. I assume Glowmouse probably also has a side deck plan for Plan Synchro because it did win the last Starstrike event. So it's probably on people's radar. But for now, we will have to wait and see. I'm just responding to a message. Yeah. Yeah, I've been getting back into playing actual tournaments as well. So yeah, Malevolent Catastrophe would be pretty cool there if that happened, but alas, did not quite work out. But yeah, I've been getting back into playing tournaments myself as well, so I need to do some scheduling for those tournaments. Don't want to keep my opponents on the hook there. Oh no! Oh no! Wait, did I lose connection to everyone, or is that just Dueling Book? Okay, looks like it's just Dueling Book, I hope. Yeah, okay, looks like just Dueling Book. Okay, we're getting back into the game here. The DB 10%er, yeah. Gotta do the hot DB text, you know, like get it to reconnect so that way it gives you a better hand in game 2. But yeah, looks like Wagmum just opening with the classic T-set pass. I mean, that could be pretty good. If it's a Raiko, that might be nice. I mean, Glowmoss probably off of Tribute in game 2, so not really a risk of that. Duality coming through, so not the best Duality reveals, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, because if that's like a Raiko, you don't want to set Spy into a Raiko, so it's like, it's tough. Yeah, I've been there, Justice Punch. Like, in the past, I'd played, like, you know, 4 tournaments at a time or something, and it's just like, it's so much, because when you're, like, constantly scheduling games, it can be kind of tough. And yeah, sometimes it's like, you know, I love online tournaments because it allows people from all over the world to play against each other, and I think that's great. Some people, though, are really bad at scheduling, and it can make things quite tough and quite awkward. So, like, sometimes, like, you're waiting, like, an hour or two to play the game, and it's like, during that hour, you don't really want to, you're like, I can't do something else during this time because they could pop on at any time, and it's like, it's tough. But warning on the Ryo, that makes sense. I assume they were planning on saving that maybe for a Raiko, but, like, I think on the Ryo, it's probably worth doing. Yeah, looks like that's going to be it from Wagamuffin. Second duality getting activated here after it was taken off the first one. Commandant and Knock, both good options. Depends on what they want more. Looks like the Knock is going to be the pick there. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying what I said, like, to blame others, for sure. But, like, I have noticed it's, like, sometimes it's kind of rough. It is, yeah, it's just unfortunate. Luckily, I have a fair bit of time because, like, I'm just in master's program, like, doing library stuff. So, like, in past semesters, I've not had the most time because, like, my classes were, like, very busy. This term, my classes should be a bit more chill, so I'll have a bunch of time. But yeah, it's still not fun, just like wasting some time waiting. But it is what it is. I have great respect for. Oh, interesting. The normal summoned debris. I just did to poke in with damage, but obviously having the Dandy Engrave would have been quite nice there. Yeah. That's tough. Interesting debris still in game 2. Debris is definitely hurt by the Necro for sure, but that's fair, Icarus. Icarus says, I only feel burnt out if I lose. Yeah, that does burn you out a bit, I will say. I also feel like when I'm playing a deck in a tournament that, like, I know there's, like, flaws with, and I'm like, oh, man, I wish I was playing this deck just in a better way. I feel like that, like, makes me get a little bit burnt out, or, like, a little bit like, I don't really want to play anymore, like, I recently did a fiber tournament, and because I was traveling at the time that it started, so I just said basically, like, sign me up with whatever list you want. The TO, the GOAT dump truck, signed me up with a relinquished list, which was pretty cool, and I was glad that he signed me up with the list, because I do find it fun to, like, try new things like that and see, like, how they operate and see if there's any merit to them. So I'm really appreciative that he signed me up with that list. But, like, 3 games in, like, honestly, less than 3 games in, I was already starting to really feel the flaws with the deck, because just, like, you can't have, like, dead top decks in fiber format. It's a DM era format, so top decks are super important. And Malefic Stardust Dragon. Okay. So it's that type of Gravekeeper deck. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, and Icarus brings up a good point. Like, single day events do solve a lot of those problems. So, like, yeah, joining single day events can be quite fun because, like, it's you don't have to sit with the list for as long. It's not like a long time where you have to, like, marinate on your plays and stuff like that. It's just like you do the one thing and then you're good. The issue I have with single day events, and this is purely a personal issue on my part, is that oftentimes if there's a single day event in a format that I would play, I'm streaming it, right? Like, if I'm available for that single day event and it's a format that I play or have covered, then I'm probably going to stream it and just get more publicity on it. So, which is purely a personal thing. It's purely a personal problem. Like, this applies to, like, maybe 0.0001% of people out there. But yeah, I could do it. I do like that idea. Just Punch asked if I'm planning on doing attritional locals before the next tournament on the 17th, and I am very happy to do so. Attritional seems like a really cool format, so I am happy to do it. I mean, Judge Punch, if you're torn on what you want to play, that's even more excuse for me to do the locals, because the locals partially are there just to, like, try and help people figure out what to play. And so I'm happy if the locals can help you decide that. So yeah, traditional locals will be, let's see, what's today? Today is the 3rd. Next week will be like the 11th or so. I don't know what next week's locals will be. Yeah. Next week's, I'm trying to think, when does the next Kesha Grand Prix start? Because that got announced today. It's being hosted on the server. Okay, that starts, yeah, probably this upcoming week's locals will be Yada. And then the week after's locals will be Trish. That's what I'll do. So yeah, and I'll try and have it not on a Friday if I can. It's just like I've had a couple of busy weekends. So this weekend is 4th of July weekend, which means that there's a lot going on. This was kind of like the only time I really had to do it. But yeah, next week I should hopefully be more free, so I should be able to carve out some time to get people playing some Yada on a Saturday or Sunday. And then the week after should hopefully be a similar thing. Actually, it'll probably be Saturday if I can do it because the tournament starts on Sunday. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. Recruiter over that Lila. Lila did pop one Nectar Valley, but it was not good enough for the second. Still, that Gore's token just walling off. Globos does need like a Descendant to get through that. Not guaranteed. 2 dualities gone. 25 cards in deck. Probably play 3 Descendants, but like 3 out of 25, that's like a 1/8 chance. So, very much not the most likely thing in the world. Not completely out of the realm of possibility either, to be clear. But definitely not, the most likely thing. Yeah, do I ever think it makes sense to start the yeah, I mean, we can schedule around that. Like, I've talked to Icaros about like certain events to make sure like certain events don't overlap with each other, right? Like not having like, for instance, I wouldn't host a Trishula event in July, right? Because the Trishula event's coming up there. So in the past I've like asked about that sort of thing. And the event for this upcoming month is still TBD, or I guess this upcoming month, July, is still TBD. Right now I'm thinking X-Saber because another, longtime viewer, Jim Bob, pointed out that, being able to start basically and synergize with the coverage is kind of nice. So because I just covered it in my videos, having an X-Saber tournament would be nice there, or Revolution format tournament would be nice in late July. But I'm going to ask Eros about that before I actually run it, because like, yeah, I would say I'm probably going to decide next week on what format the event's going to be. And so that's when I'll like send out things to community organizers who run events in those formats and ask about it. But yeah, right now I'm leaning Revolution / X-Saber. So that's my current inclination. And that isn't just because I missed the latest Veil of Silence. But just because I think the format's very cool. I think the recent Veil of Silence definitely shows that there is more innovation to be done, cool decks that can arise. And so just like keeping that momentum going and keeping people brewing could be cool. August is Zerev. Okay, so maybe I won't do X-Saber then. Because I'll be starting like late August or late July. So I might hold off then. So I might try and do a different format then. But I'll chat about it with Icaros, and I shall see. But yeah, because I think a key thing that I want to make sure is that like I'm never stepping on anyone's toes with these sorts of events, because it's much better to have like a firm and regular community presence, like a community devoted to the formats, right, that are constantly running events, than like my Discord like going in, hosting it for a month, and then like moving on. It can get eyes on the format, sure, if my Discord does it, but if it would interfere with the regular events that a community does, I feel like it may be worse long term, because like, the regular events are what keeps the lifeblood of the format going. I mean, look at Fiber format, where like a Fiber format, Dubtruck's run one of those like every month for like the past 2 years or something. And that is probably the most popular DM format right now. I don't think it's the best one personally. I think that I prefer Yada personally, but like the fact that it's still going is like a testament to the community and the regularity and devotion to that format. And so I'm really happy that they're able to do that and keep that going. Gamer Shadow says Trish definitely one of the best retro formats, though this one shares some traits with it. Yeah, and I'm very excited for Trish. I'm excited for Trish and Tengu. I've been convinced to actually host a Tengu tournament when we get to Tengu. Initially, like when I was first thinking about approaching Tengu, Tengu was a lot more popular, so I had a lot more tournaments running. And now it sort of like seems to be on the decline. Like not as many people are playing Tengu as they used to. So I'm not really like stealing anyone's niche, right? So yeah, I think it would be fun to actually host a Trish event or host a Tengu event. I'm hosting a Trish event no matter what. But like once we get to Tengu, I'll probably host that as well. So Just Bunch says, I don't think it would interfere if you think its format normally takes 2 weeks or so, then you start in late July, then it end before or near the time of the Nostro tournament. I think it probably would take like 2 to 3 weeks. That'd be my guess. But I'll work it out with Icaros and we'll see. We'll see what makes the most sense. Yeah, but again, I'll probably start like really figuring out the logistics of it like this upcoming week, after the 4th of July weekend, because that's going to be a lot. But yeah, thank you for showing up, Dylan Ramirez. Thank you for chatting. And yeah, I hope you have a fun and safe 4th of July as well. And that goes for everyone celebrating or observing or whatever you want to call it. Necro Valley the Third has hit the field. Once that's gone, no more Necros. So that's going to be pretty good for Wagamuffin there if they're able to do that. Looks like the Gore's token is going to attack into the Recruiter here, get in a little bit more chip damage. Now, the risk for this is they search out like a Descendant, which would be kind of rough. But, I mean, that damage gets them then to 1,800, which is pretty decent. Yeah, there's the Descendant. So that's a bit annoying. But it needs to be done. Looks like Wagamuffin setting another. And is that it? I feel like there's probably a warning in Wagamuffin's back row. That would be my guess. Either warning for the Descendant or warning for a set Spy. Either way, Descendant has to attribute another face-up Gravekeeper. So, if they summon out Descendant and then try and flip up their set, then, so like here comes the Spy. So this is the correct ordering because you don't want to run into warning flipping up the Spy after you committed a Descendant into attack to lose the token. So, yeah, there wouldn't need a warning. No more warnings for Wagamuffin, though, because he's at 1,500. So, yeah. Exactly, Prada. As Prada says, this format's so lame. Who would even like Gravekeepers, right? Yeah. For those not in the know, Prada is a big Gravekeeper stan. Very, very good pilot for the deck. And, yeah, just a set Descendant. I respect not playing into the bluff. Because if that had been a Spy, it would have survived. And, that wouldn't necessarily been the best for Wagamuffin. But I respect that. No fear. Just like you don't have the Spy set there. It's not going to work. And even if you do, if you got it, I got to attack it now because like you just load it up next turn and pop things. Assailant's coming down. Assailant does not get over to that token because that token has 2,500 defense as well. But it can attack into the set there. It is going to be a Dandy. So Dandy will get some tokens out onto the field here, which is actually quite scary for Wagamuffin. That is, if Globos gets an Assailant out there and rams into a token, that is going to be good night. So, yeah, that's actually a very worrying situation for Wagamuffin. I'm very curious what they'll do to get around this. Do they have a synchro play that can offload those tokens? I hope so, for their sake. There's no warning, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, they're probably a little bit scared here. Even if, well, actually, no, they need Necro Valley. Oh, yeah, Tribute Titanial. There we go. Psychon called it. I didn't realize the Titanial was in hand. But yeah, that works. And Titanial is going to be quite good here. So this will be lethal if this all connects, which I assume it will. Because, yeah, they would have needed like Mirror Force a long time ago if they did have it. And, yeah, anything else would target the Titanial. So, yeah, very, very good game 2. And now we're on to game 3. So the grind continues. Let's go. Yeah, and then whoever wins this will face off against Artos in the finals. So, if Wagamuffin wins, they got a Gravekeeper grind to go through. If Glomos wins, we'll get to see the fabled Gravekeeper mirror, which is just as fun as it sounds. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But either way, these are, I mean, like from what we've seen of these games so far, these have been very, very good games. So kudos to both duelists playing. Kudos to all the duelists who've played so far in the locals. We've seen some really neat decks. We've seen some really neat plays. We see double commandant coming down, which means there might be a tribute in Globoss's hand here. So yeah, Descendant is coming down. Activate Necro Valley, set the entire hand, and then tribute things away. Yep, there we go. Tribute. So it's going to hit a Cyber Dragon, a Breaker, a Trag, and leave a Reborn dead under Necro Valley and an MST, which can hit the Necro Valley. So MST, Reborn, I guess MST, the Necro Valley, Reborn, Sidra is like fine. We don't know what's in the hand here. I'm curious why. Oh, we know Necro Valley is 1. Oh, they're probably 2 Necro Valley actually. So it's probably 3 Necro Valley all here, and then Stell for the 2 Commandants. So yeah, that makes Reborn for Sidra like kind of not even that good. So like, do you even do that this turn? Because then they can just go activate Necro Valley, summon Commandant, and then crash, which is not ideal. MST Reborn, so it looks like they are just going to do it. Like, when else are you going to have the opportunity to, I guess? And then attack into the Commandant with the Sidra, set 1, pass back. So we can get another Necro Valley here, summon up Commandant, poke into Sidra. And then there's the Necro Valley. Are they going to... Yeah, oh, Assailant. Yeah, Assailant gets through it even better. Yeah, so that will attack into Sidra, not even a crash. Does White have something here to stop it? The answer is yes. Malevolent Catastrophe. So, let's see. This is when this card declares an attack while Necro Valley is on the field. I think it does switch to defense. Because that's an activation condition. It doesn't need to be on field for it to... Yeah, I think it's switched to defense. Yeah, I think it is defense. Because, yeah, Gravekeeper Assailant is... it's an activation condition. So even if the Necro Valley is destroyed, you still resolve the effect after. So it's just like Globoss takes 100 here. Yeah, we did get to see the Malcat, which is very, very cool. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't crash. It will just attack into a defense position, Sidra, and then Globoss will lose 100 life points. So they should gain 500 here. No, actually, they should not gain 500. They should just lose 100. They lost to 600 last turn. So, yeah, so they should be at 7,300 right now. I don't know if I want to be annoying and be like, actually 100. No, not gain 500, because 500 is, the 600 was from the Descendant attack over, right? And the 100 was from the attack in. So either way here, White Mama just switches Sidra to attack, attacks into Assailant. And I think that's probably what you do, unless you got a Caius, but like, yeah, ram into Assailant, and then main 2, whatever else you have. Oh, I guess passing. So could be Titanial, could be Gores, could be a different hand drop. Be very funny if it's honest. I doubt it is, but would be very funny. But yeah, as is, if Globoss drew another Stell's like crazy here. But if not, they can just summon out Commandant and then attack into Sidra, crash. Have another Commandant in hand for next turn. Yeah. Okay, what does White Mama have here? They just got 1 macro and pass. You know, sometimes that's how it goes. Commandant coming down again. Makes sense. Will the back row trade for it here? Looks like it's fine. Attacking in for 21, and they'll just take it. So no Gores. I assume they wouldn't have set that if they had a Gores. Or they're slow rolling Gores. Because otherwise, you know, If it was like a Malcat, or if it was like an MST or Dust Tornado, you just use it on the Necro. Here it looks like they're not. Yeah, it looks like they're just setting another passing. I'm very curious what that back row is. Could be a TT. They're waiting for Glowmoss to commit more cards to board. Could be a Mirror Force, and they're doing the same thing. Duality here is going to come down. Revealing Book, Spy, and Judgment. Judgment seems pretty good, if I'm being honest here. Spy could also accelerate Glowmoss's game plan, to be fair. But, like, you've only got one Necro value left and no way to recover it. So I kind of like the Judgment to hold on to that. But looks like they are indeed going to take the Spy, which I also don't hate. It just depends on, like, what your priority is. And also what the back row is. We don't know what the back row is, obviously. So we can't necessarily tell what would be best here. Sangan will get a search. Maybe for Raikou. I could definitely see Raikou being very good here. Lone Fire actually would be kind of good. Debris. Okay, that is... If you are Glowmoss, you see that and you're like, uh-oh, I don't like what's about to happen. Tribute. Oh, another Tribute. Okay, that's... Yeah, that is, that's rough. It's Debris and Foolish, so I guess that was the card that they held in hand. So, I assume the back row is something that can deal with Necro, right? If I set was Judgment, like, I could see it being Judgment, but like, I don't know. It's, I find the saying answer for Debris very strange. I feel like, if it was Malcat, they would have activated it already, I assume, because there's no other Necro values that Glowmoss can get from deck. I doubt they have a way to recycle Necro value from grave. So you're just like saving life points if you Malcat earlier. Like, unless they want to be greedy with it, but okay, 2100 coming in here. Is that going to eat a Mirror Force? Is that going to eat anything? Wang Muffin thinking, or we've disconnected. Okay, it looks like they will take the 21. Yeah, I feel like if it was Judgment, you'd search out Lone Fire and just Judgment the Tribute, maybe. Like, it just seems so weird to me that yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they wanted to just send a Dandy and then sink into Iron Chain, but like, I feel like, don't they have better tuners that they can do with that? Like, oh, seems interesting. Yeah, if they had Judgment, I feel like they probably would just search Lone Fire because they wouldn't be afraid of, like, Warning, right? So, yeah, I don't think they've got Judgment. I don't think that first back row is Judgment. I don't know what it would be. Could be 7 tools, maybe, I guess. No, but 7 tools is the same thing as Judgment. Like, you just search out, like, Lone Fire. Now Glowmoss has a Judgment, so that's going to be quite scary for Wagamuffin here. Trunade Caius would be wild. That'd be pretty good. Oh, MST. Oh, if it's MST, yeah, that's, I mean, interesting. I mean, I guess the hold was worth it on that MST because now the Solemn's dead. Actually, I think maybe you don't flip up the MST on Judgment there because you know the Judgment, you know where that is. So, like, they're not going to Judgment an MST activated on a Judgment, right? So, I feel like maybe you hold it, see what you draw, and see if it's something that, like, yeah, I don't know. Interesting plays from Wagamuffin here, I think. And again, when I critique plays or am like, I wonder why they did that over this or something, I'm not trying to claim that I know better or like anything like that. It's different commentating with like only partial knowledge versus actually playing in a game. So yeah, it's I'm not claiming to be like better than these players or like anything like that, but yeah, Dark Hole going to be pretty good there, especially having the MST for the Judgment is like very nice. So the hold on that was pretty good overall, I think. But I just think I'm confused by some other plays here. But anyways, I'm just going to set that pass. Maybe they searched out Debris. Actually, you want to know why they may have searched out Debris? They may have searched out Debris because it's like a worse top deck under Necro. But I guess with the MST, like, if you don't care as much about that, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, MST on the Necro would have shut off the Tribute too, so it's like, yeah, it's just my one's probably hurting there. Yeah. Okay, 7-1, passing back. I assume that's a Raikou. Either like Raikou or Dandy or something. Allure here. So that means they probably have a Gravekeeper in hand. They're going to banish a Recruiter. Ooh. Might have been their only Gravekeeper in hand then. Because I feel like generally you don't want to banish Recruiter. Especially into an unknown set in a deck that plays Raikou. Yeah, they had MST. So I think they were planning on like MSTing Hit Valley and then like doing Debris play. But they just forgot that like Royal Tribute was still a card that could hurt them, right? So like I think they should have MST'd the Necro a lot earlier. They also would have gained some more life points, which like you might be like, well, life points don't really matter as much. But I think like when you're facing against a beatdown deck, they definitely do matter, especially if it's like getting you into certain life point ranges, or they'll be able to attack multiple times and hurt you there. So, yeah. Anywho, we are getting a Spy to hand off that duality, putting back a Dim Prison, a Warning. So Spy set is almost assured here. And Spy set's going to be pretty good, all things considered. Yeah, there is the Spy set. Is that a Raikou that's going to get flipped up, try and pop the Spy? If it is a Raikou, you kind of have to do it now, even risking the warning, because otherwise they flip Spy, get out Descendant, and then it's kind of rough. I mean, if you got a warning of your own, then, like, I guess that balances things out, but, like, I don't know. A bit tricky here. Okay, the Spy is getting flipped up. He's going to attempt to use his effect. And why am I thinking here? They are thinking hard. Yeah, Warning is going to get activated. Judgment is engraved, so you don't need to worry about that. But 7 tools would be killer here. 7 tools would be nasty. Okay, looks like not a 7 tools back there. Not a Dark Bribe, Okay, Commandant coming down. Probably going to hit in, I would guess that's a Dandy. It's either Dandy, Spore, or Bulb. Let's go! Oh! The road! Oh, no! Oh, no! That might be the end of the game. Bottomless trap hole. Can that work? Is this a... No, this is a chain link too. I don't think you can activate bottomless trap hole, right? Because Stardust Dragon comes down on the Starlight Road effect. And, yeah, honestly... yeah. So, yeah, Artos is correct. You can't bottomless trap hole there. I mean, we can... not public chat. Online users. Send message. Was like 2. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if they see that. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly, the craziest thing about this game is that I think Wagmuffin could have potentially won if they had hit the Necro Valley with their MST earlier. Because if they had done that, they would have actually had the turn to go Debris into Dandy into an 8 and just like, control the game state, right? I think they got a bit greedy on the MST hold. But yeah, oh man, this is just rough. You hate to see it. Now, to be fair to Wagmuffin, like they need basically like a second tribute exactly in order to like punish what they were doing. But like, I don't know. Against Gravekeepers, like they've only got so many things to do, so like you might as well just get rid of the Necro Valley while you can. And like even if they warning the it negates it, but it's still chain link too. But it's still like I think, right? Is that not? Apparently this may be a format specific thing. Uh, like, uh, uh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Uh, I don't want to hold up the locals. Uh, uh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Are there any judges in the call? Uh, yeah. It's a. Yeah. Let's ask a judge if we can. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, I'm asking. Oh, okay, okay. Uh, Send the ruling on Discord. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, Artos found the ruling. Yeah. Yeah, the ruling's in the locals channel. Okay, thank you, Artos. Yeah. The goat Artos coming in clutch. But yeah, so I didn't know that after 2012 you could do that. Um yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that the ruling changed at some point, but I sent it to Wagamuffin. So yeah, unfortunate. Um yeah, I'm sorry. That's just apparently how it is. Um yeah, that's rough. Uh yeah. Um yeah. Um uh yeah, let's see. Starstrike's based in January of 2012, I think. Either that or it's no, it's in 2011. Oh, it's January 2011. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, it always stinks when that happens. Yeah, because like that's one of the things about like retro Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when like you do a bunch of formats, is that like weird things there's just weird rulings surrounding that, like weird ruling changes. So like yeah, that stinks. Stinks that it had to happen that way. Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, it always stinks, but Yu-Gi-Oh is an unintuitive game sometimes, unfortunately. So, yeah, rough. So yeah, yeah, that's just the end of the game. Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, it always stinks when a game like a game comes down to just a ruling thing. Yeah, so I guess yeah, not really much they could have done there. Yeah, I really think like after the tribute on the search, it was kind of over. But yeah, there were ways back into it, but like that was kind of backbreaking. Yeah, but GG's here. Yeah, apologies again. That's how it turned out. But yeah, I mean, it just stinks. But yeah, I mean, GK is a good first deck to play in Starstrike. So yeah, and we'll see which GK deck wins in the finals here. But yeah, apologies to YMF in the end. It never feels good for things to end that way, but unfortunately, yeah, we do. Sometimes they will work out that way. Yeah, pour one out for the plant player indeed. He did hold out, and it was a very, very good grind. Very, very good games, but unfortunately, it does end that way sometimes. So, yeah. But now we will get. Now we're gonna get the finals of this locals. Aratos versus Glowmoss here. And we will see which Gravekeeper player comes out on top. So yeah. Massive props to Wagamuffin. Again, like it's rough that it had to end that way. And it's not really their fault. It's just like unintuitive rulings happen, you know. Yeah. That's how you go sometimes though. You know, definitely a game to love and hate, and unfortunately at times like that, it is much easier to hate the game than to love it for sure. Yeah. But we've got the finals now. Exactly, as Prada says. Now we'll see if the GK players know the sauce on how to side for the mirror. It is a cool mirror, to be fair. Yeah, as Igaro says, it's not even that bad. Like, a lot of mirrors can be like really bad for things like, if you play an X-Saber mirror, you've got like Gotham's E-Call, like be able to take like either player's graveyard whenever anyone has an X-Saber on the field. Like that is like nasty, right? Blackwing mirror, you've got Sirocco being able to pump up things to ludicrous heights because there's Blackwings everywhere on board, right? But Gravekeeper mirror, the thing is just like as Igaro says, multiple cards are ass, right? Like Necro Valley is just not really that good because it boosts your opponent's monsters too. And like no one's really doing things that like involve the graveyard outside of Stell, which gets around Necro Valley anyways. So like Necro Valley bad, right? Like there's all these weird, like just not really good cards in the mirror. So, which is perfectly fine because it just means that like, we get to see the players skill with the cards that like do matter in the mirror. So yeah. Prada says, if I see more than a single Necro Valley, I'm going to be disappointed. Psychon asks, what's the best side cards for the mirror? I would say it's weird. I don't even think it's about like siding cards in. It's more about siding cards out. So like in the mirror, you take out Necro Valleys because like, what's the point of Necro Valley? I guess to increase a damage clock, but if you are not the one with board presence, which you have less resources if you're the one activating the Necro Valley, then it doesn't really matter. But no, he's not taking the Royal Oppression. Yeah, I felt like Royal Oppression would have been pretty good there as well. Especially if you can set up your own spy first and then just have Oppression up to just stop other spies. I mean, it's not perfect because spy still activates in damage step, but like if it's attacked into, that is. But still, Oppression is a pretty good card. But yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument for it. If you can control what the opponent has, you maybe shut things down. But also, I will take what chat says very seriously because sarcasm is hard to convey on the internet. And so I will just go along with what people say. If people say like the most rancid play to make and they say it with conviction, I'll be like, yeah, that seems right. Yeah, they should do this or that or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get the Commandant down here. I mean, Oppression is actually pretty good. Like if they try to go for Malefic Stardust Dragon, which I don't know if they side that in, but like if they do have that, then Oppression could stop that at least. But Yeah, let's see. Artos searching off the recruiter. Yeah, what is the search here? Spy isn't bad, but like, if your opponent drops a descendant, then like spy is gonna look real bad there. Searching on a commandant. So you can crash with your opponent's commandant. Duality coming down now that they know what the set was and the search was. Pretty good card there, if I'm being honest. I kind of like Descendant to pop, but that depends if you have protection for the Commandant. Assailant also pretty decent, but it's actually not actually the most decent because it can't deal with Commandant. It can't deal with other Assailants either. It can deal with Recruiter and Spy, but only if they're face up. So anyway, 3 back row. That Commandant might be protected here. We'll have to see if Artos is able to get through that or not. Duality of their own makes sense. I don't hate Spy, if I'm being honest. The one thing with Spy is like if they didn't take the Descendant because they already have a Descendant in hand, that could be kind of nasty. But Dimpriz also pretty decent. That is protection. Okay, they are taking the Spy. I think that does make sense overall. But again, it's a little bit of risk if the opponent has Descendant in hand already. Setting the Spy, passing back. Does Glomos have the Descendant, or do they have a warning in the back row, maybe? Do they have, like, I don't know. Multiple things should stop the Spy. But they need to have it. That's the thing. Tribute would be funny. Does Tribute work if your opponent has the Necro Valley? I don't actually know. Looks like they're just going to leave the Spy on board. So that to me signals that they probably have a warning. They don't want to attack something into the Spy and take the damage. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. As Prada says, going off what we know, Spy is good even if it gets warninged or popped for later game style plays. And also it will just like be dealing it will be dealing 2,000 damage to them if it gets warninged as well. So okay, passing back, so not flipping up that Spy just yet. Taking things a bit slow. Okay, so apparently current Royal Tribute, you do need the Valley. So Descendant coming down on its own. Interesting that they didn't commit that earlier. Maybe they just drew it. They could have just drawn it. But if that was the case, I feel like you'd summon out Assailant instead. Because you don't want to lose the Descendant, because the Descendant is very good. Oh, okay. So Prada says that apparently at this time it only requires the field to be Necro Valley, so a card that is Necro Valley. So yeah, Royal Tribute is kind of brutal here. If Glomos gets it, they can use it as well. But yeah, if you're Artos here, you know that Assailant's coming down. So I feel like you probably just flip Spy, run into Warning if they have it. But then you maybe do something to get over the Descendant. Yeah, I don't know. Bit tricky, I think. The hard summon Descendant is also a bit spooky, I will say. Okay, setting another. Oh, now the Tribute comes down. Okay, that's going to be very good against the Descendant there. So Glomos thinking they might. Oh, they might even warning Judgment this. Looks like they're not going to though. So they're going to lose Assailant, and Artos is going to get a peek at that hand. Glomos is going to get a peek at this hand. I assume these hands are all Necro Valleys. Or at least on Artos' side, they're probably all Necro Valleys. Actually, we can check this right now. If you control Necro Valley. Okay, so yeah, it looks like you have to control it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it is you controlling it. So yeah. Warning is going to come down. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, that we kind of predicted that there was a warning in the back row there for quite some time. But looks like that will trade for 2k damage, which, you know, is damage. Damage is damage. And Artos does have another set monster there. So they're probably okay with that trade. Question is Globos going to draw into another monster here to pop the set? They're going to go for Stell. I mean, that's basically another monster. Adding back Assailant and Commandant. Stell might have been in hand as well, to be fair. But Assailant's going to come down here. Is Descendant going to pop? No, they're just going to attack in, saying, I don't think that's another spy. And even if it is, actually, the board is kind of dealt with because Assailant can attack into whatever it brings out. And then Descendant could potentially pop. Yeah, the only way in which that doesn't work is if... yeah, okay, so they are going to attack in with the Assailant now and actually get over that Recruiter. You get, you know, Assailant can switch position, so yeah, able to get over the Recruiter that way. Artos does get a search here. This looking a bit rough for Artos with the opponent having a monster to pop with Descendant. Things are looking rough. Commandant, I mean, Commandant does get over Descendant. It also does get over Assailant. So it's like kind of pick your poison. Yeah, I feel like you probably attack over Descendant would be my guess, but that's if those back row don't do anything, which they might. We don't know what Artos' back rows do as well. So, bottomless trap hole on the Commandant is going to be rough, to say the least. Again, that will go through. So there's 4,000 damage on board. Another Commandant in hand for Glomos. That's 6,100 damage being represented there. Mirror Force, I mean, you might have to take the telegraphed Mirror Force, right? Because now Glomos knows that there's no Mirror Force there. And there could be TT. TT's an option. Yeah, Stell's what you normally want to take, but like, in desperate straits, yeah, you might just have to take the Mirror Force there and be like, okay, I know you know about this, but nothing else I can do besides have you run into it, you know? If there's like an MST in the back row, that's going to be brutal, though. Okay, passing back. How much is Glomos going to commit into a Mirror Force? Yeah, Saigon says no mirror is so bad, but like if you're Artos, you don't really have another option, right? You kind of just have to do it. Because now your opponent knows you don't have Mirror Force. So it's like, you know. Okay, Commandant is coming down. Oh, Descendant's one card. So actually this like doesn't even help that much, right? Because they just pop the mirror. Okay, no Prio. Looks like that'll be fine. Okay, looks like they're just gonna run the Commandant in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he's Mirror Force trades for a Gravekeeper either way, so might as well. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you just try and get in for 4K. If there's no TT, then like you tribute the Commandant, pop the Mirror Force, and get in for a guaranteed 4K. That's a 2-turn clock. So, yeah. But yeah, it definitely is rough. Yeah. Artist probably has Stell here if they're checking Grave. Stell isn't even like the best for them. I mean, I guess you have to go. You add back Commandant Spy, and then like you try and just run over the Descendant with the Commandant. But it's just like so rough. It's gonna attack in, but there's Mirror Force of Glomos' own, and then it's like, now what do you do? You know? Judgment, yeah. Probably have to. I think that makes sense. And yeah, just set one pass. I think, yeah. Again, Artos making the best of bad situations, so Yeah. Yeah, Prada says IDK, if you stelled, you would at least get a +1 and require them pop spy. So, I think this play was fine. Bottomless on the Commandant's going to be pretty good. Assailant can still get over Commandant, unfortunately. Or actually, it can't because 2K defense there. So, yeah. So now Arto is actually in a very good spot. Or maybe not very good. They're still at a life point deficit in a beatdown mirror. But still, not terrible. Dimper is here. That will get rid of the Commandant, but we know about Spy in hand, so they can just set the Spy and have that set up for next turn. Okay, we're going to main 1. Any Stell, any Descendant is just really bad for Artos, though. So that's like, it's a rough situation to be in. They're checking Grave. Might be a Stell in Artos' future. Yeah, if it is a Stell or Descendant, like, depending on what Artos' 1 back row is, things are going to get pretty nasty. Let's see here. Okay, Spy in attack mode. Interesting. That's 2500 defense. Okay, yep, there we go. So I guess they're just attacking in to then switch the monster summoned out to attack. So yeah, that'll be 800 damage. And then now Artos has to think, okay, what am I bringing out here? To combat the assailant. I mean, is it crazy to do Commandant? No, actually, you can't do Commandant because there's none left. Recruiter might be the move. Because, like, Descendant just dies to Assailant, right? So, at least with the Recruiter, you can get a search after. Might have to be a Recruiter. You can also always, like, search out another spy and then just set another spy and then threaten Descendant again later. But yeah, there's definitely an interesting spot to be in. For sure. Yeah, Assailant. Yeah, if they've got an Assailant, that works too, yeah. Yeah, I can see Assailant. Let's see here. Okay, looks like a Recruiter. They might not be on Assailant. That's another thing. Like, you know, I like Assailant as like a one-of, but like, it's not necessarily the best thing in the world. But yeah, they are going to attack into the Spy. But now next turn, Artos has the option where like they can just crash Recruiter into Spy and then search out a Spy from deck. And then, oh, book. Oh, oh, that's crazy. That is so good. That is so good. Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah, that is wild. Okay, yeah. And Glow's gonna scoop it up because like, yeah, that is, I mean, depending on what the back row is, but you know, you can pop yeah, dead cards. I mean, there is a world where like you just keep going and just hope that Artos falls for the bluff, but like next turn they just Descendant pop Assailant maybe. And then I mean, it's just, you get a search off Recruiter. Yeah, it's just brutal. So masterful turn there from Artos. Wow. Yeah, that was really good. Also, by getting the Recruiter, they like made it better for Glowance to attack in to the Spy, and then that of course made the book play all the better. So wow, that was good. That was the joy of the Gravekeeper Mirror, for sure. Oh man, that was intense. But yeah. Cool. So yeah, now the siding happened. Yeah, hook, line, and sinker, as Sycon says. Now the siding happens, and the question is, what is going to be sided in, sided out? You know, I think the siding in is a lot trickier to tell because it could really come down to like what the player's philosophies for their side deck was, and yeah, I mean, what comes out is definitely a lot more, you know, knowable, right? Like you're gonna take out the Necro Valleys, you're gonna take out the oppressions, you're gonna take out, you know, just things that like would stop special summoning or things like that. I don't know if they play Reborn in the side deck, that's something to bring in. I don't know if they would, but like if they do, that's something. But yeah, I should have had a poll. Who would win, Gravekeepers or Gravekeepers? I think that'd be quite intense. I'll make the poll now. It's kind of rough because, you know, we already started. We already started the game, but you know, it'll still be an interesting poll to see. Gravekeepers or Gravekeepers. Okay. Vote now for who you think will win. Yep, warning. Warning makes sense. Yeah, you definitely keep in warning in the mirror. It's very, very good against Spy. Sidra, okay. So Glowmoss can still get in some attacks here. Sidra pretty good in the mirror. With no Necro Valley in, it gets rid of most stuff, but Dimpriz will stop it. So yeah, Sycon says, I think Assailant is normally really good and pretty underrated, but it certainly gets weaker, if not unplayable, if they both cut Valley. And I agree. It's just a 1500 beat stick if you cut Valley. Which just makes it like not really worth playing. Like Gravekeepers often play like other monsters in the side deck that like you could bring in to host certain strategies. And like, you know, you could just bring in one of those over the Assailant. It'll probably be fine. Like if you really don't have good cards to bring in, sure, you can keep the Assailant as just like a beat stick that you can search out off Recruiter. But it's like such a bad beat stick. So Dimpriz on the Recruiter makes sense. Spy still gets in for 1200 though in main 2. Arto's going to set another pass back. So Suli Artos in a much better spot here. Seems like Glowmoss might just have monsters, which can't be gotten out of hand with tributes because people cut tributes. Interesting results in the poll so far. 2/3 of people say Gravekeepers win, but there is 1/3 that are saying that Gravekeepers will win. So we'll have to see who is correct there, if either. I mean, maybe there will be a mysterious third option. Like it could be a draw. So neither Gravekeepers win. Or both, depending on how you look at it. The question is, does Glowmoss have another monster here that they can bring out? They've lost 2 Sidras to a Dimpriz and a Bottomless, respectively. So, what else do they have? It's in main 1, so they still have an opportunity to attack with the Spy if they can. But okay, Commandant. Yep, just attack in with Commandant. 1600 beater, you know, highest beat stick in the deck, at least in archetype. So makes sense. Is this going to be another Spy? Is it going to be a Recruiter? Only time will tell. And that time is probably soon. Looks like they're going to set 1 pass back. So we'll have to see if Glowmoss attacks in this. I assume it's a Recruiter. I would Artos. I would maybe just assume that like that back row is like not a warning. But it looks like it's a Spy. So they're doing the bit the more cautious play. So they're able to Spy, bring out a Recruiter from the deck. Interesting that they went Recruiter instead of going Descendant. Descendant would actually be able to pop right away. But I guess that then loses to like what the Recruiter would search, which would be a Commandant. So this is probably fine. Yeah, I think Sycon's right where you wouldn't run Rite of Spirit here. Rite of Spirit, I like it as a tech card. I think it's neat. But okay, it looks like they do have a Descendant already. So they're able to pop their own recruiter and get over to that commandant, search out another recruiter. And the question is, do you attack over the recruiter here and allow your opponent to search out a commandant, or do you just leave things as they are? And I don't know the answer necessarily, but Arto's has got to figure that answer soon. But yeah, Graveyard's Chief would be pretty cool because you get to tribute over a recruiter, add back a recruiter, and then also have just the biggest attack of any Gravekeeper. So that is very neat. But unfortunately, I don't think it's played much in this format. I would assume at least. Especially with like duality being a thing. Like duality plus Chief is kind of awkward, but it can work, but it's just kind of tricky. But yeah, there's the Commandant. Makes sense. Get over the Descendant and see if Artos has a back row for it. Okay, passing back. Okay, there's the Commandant. Commandant tries to go over Descendant. And that will go through. So Descendant is gone. And then main 2. They're just going to set 1 pass. So the back row is a bit spooky. But is Artos going to respect it? They're just going to run out Commandant. Makes sense. While they've got the spy up, they're like very safe to just like try and make aggressive plays because they just got this big guy sitting in defense. 2 Cider is gone. I forget if Cider was semied in this format or not, but either way, even if it's not semied, it's unlikely to draw a third. So yeah, it should be looking pretty good for Artos here. That set monster though could very well be a spy. Stell will be able to get back a Descendant and another spy here. 1 recruiter gone, so it could be a recruiter. So it is like iffy if you want to pop it or not, but it looks like they are going to pop it. Popping a recruiter. Still, if Lomos searches out a spy here, then you've got a pop next turn, so they have to search out Commandant. But that is 2 recruiters gone. So, and this is the 3rd Commandant as well. So if you're Artos, you're probably feeling pretty fine here. Attacking him for 15, passing back. We still don't know what that set card is, so that's tricky. Honestly, I enjoy the mirror too, Prada. I think it's like pretty neat. It is just kind of like a beatdown mirror. But listen, as someone who played Yu-Gi Kaiba way back when, I like that sort of thing. It's fun just to, do some like beat stick Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit, a lot of the time. Cider coming down, Cider up, poking into that Commandant. Will this go through? It looks like it will. And then main 2, I assume set Spy. Could be set Recruiter in case there is a Dark Hole coming. But I think set Spy just makes sense. You press your advantage while you got it. And also 2 Recruiters gone. So like, it's not the most likely thing in the world to be the Recruiter. Okay, they are checking their graveyard. Did they bring in the Chaos Orc? I doubt it. No, that'd be wild. That'd be a wild thing to bring in the mirror. But yeah, Stell for double Commandant. I don't. Oh, okay. We got a Necro Valley in the mirror. Hold up. Okay. Interesting. They kept in the Necro. Spy coming down here, and this is going to be like 3,800 max. That is a lot of damage into 4,100 life points. So, yeah, Descendant coming down. Recruiter getting summoned as well. And this is lethal if it all connects. Big if, but like, yeah. GG's. Would have been 200 off lethal if it was not, but like still, it probably still would have been worth doing if you're Artos. That had a lot of damage coming in. But yeah, congrats to Artos there for winning this one. Very, very close game, to be sure. But yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like Saikon said, maybe keep the 1 Valley as searchable Solidarity. But yeah. Gamer Shadow said, next time let's pair the Gravekeeper against each other round 1. Yeah, that probably would have made 4 more pleasant locals. But I mean, this definitely does show that like Gravekeepers is like the best deck in this format for a reason. I mean, it is very, very strong. And I'm just glad that they got to face off against each other because I think the mirror is very interesting. But I hope you all enjoyed this locals as always. It's always fun to stream these when I can. And even though we had some hiccups along the way and some tragic rulings, I still think it was a fun event, and I enjoyed it at least. So I hope you did too. Next locals will probably be this upcoming Saturday. I might have to put it on Friday depending on my schedule, but I will let you all know on the YGO from Zero Discord server. So if you want to play in these events in the future, then head on over there. Oh, thank you, Psychon. 10 out of 10 stream for me there, and would sub if I wasn't. So yeah, if you're not subbed out there, definitely subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 2,100 subscribers next. That's the next goal. We're at 2015, so we should be able to get there soon. It'd be interesting if we could pass the current year. Can we get past 2026? That'd be neat. But yeah, also go subscribe to Psychon as well, because they got a cool Tengu channel. And I think they've also covered some other forums besides Tengu, maybe. But very, very good videos there as well. So shout out to them. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. We've been streaming for quite a bit. It has been very fun, but I do need to go eat something. So I will do that now. Hope you all enjoyed as always. Until next time, I've been Ben from YGO from Zero. I'm signing off. Peace.